Hello, my name's Brian Fleming, and less than 2 years ago, I was 625 pounds. And I basically was an alcoholic, I was depressed, I was drinking a fifth of vodka every single night, and I was mixing that with about a liter of pop. I was consuming about 7,500 calories per day, and I was eating a lot of junk food. I ate, large pizzas every day. I would, eat anything that was cheap and readily available. Um, I've been fat most of my life. I was fat since I was probably about 11 or 12. When I was in grade school, I was bullied a lot. I had glasses and braces, and I know as soon as they incorporated, snack machines and pop machines into the cafeterias, I started, making poor choices and, having, $5 in your pocket when you're a child. You obviously you always go for the pizza instead of going for, a salad or something like that. But anyways. I was bullied as a child. That's something that I'm still dealing with till this day, just dealing with depression and things like that. I developed depression at a very young age, and I ate a lot because of that. And I was depressed because I ate a lot, so it was a bit of a vicious cycle. And by the time I got to, 18 or 19, I was almost 400 pounds. And going into college, I began drinking, and I became a chronic alcoholic. At this point, I was a bit of a shut-in, and by the time I got up to the age of 27 or 28, I was at my heaviest, and I was just over 600 pounds. I was about 625 pounds at my heaviest, and I'll show you guys a photo. This is the old me. This is from December of 2012. And that's me. And I'll just tell you guys, I was playing a lot of video games. I was a bit of a shut-in, and I played a lot of, Xbox, things like that, and computer games. And I ended up getting a tablet, and I started playing this game called Draw Something. And I got completely randomly matched up with this woman from London, England. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with how Draw Something works, but it's basically you take turns drawing a picture, and you guess what the other person draws. So you go back and forth taking turns doing this. And I have no drawing skills whatsoever. I am terrible at drawing, absolutely awful. And my friend Jackie, who I started to get to know through Draw Something, like I said, she lives in London. Completely random how we were matched up. And she's a fantastic drawer. I found out later that she takes art classes, and she's a bit of an artist herself. And she would take her turn. She would do something along the lines of, say, the Mona Lisa, and I would follow up with, stick figures. I'm just terrible. So we built this relationship based off of this, and she got a kick out of watching my terrible drawings, and I enjoyed seeing her make these amazing, beautiful paintings. And we built a relationship. We started talking more and getting to know each other. And we eventually added each other on Facebook and started talking more and more, kind of opening up to each other a little bit. And I think the dynamics of having, an online relationship, was good for us because it was something where there was this bit of a security zone in between us, having this distance, from Michigan where I live to London is 4,000 miles. And, there's a bit of a buffer, so to speak, between us. So it's very easy to, open up to somebody that's that far away because, what harm is there? They can, know all your secrets, but they're, as far as I'm concerned, a million miles away. I'll never see them and never get to know them. But anyways, one day I decided to tell her everything. I basically spilled my guts, and I basically, told her, hey, I'm 600 pounds, and I drink a fifth of vodka a night. I'm a chronic alcoholic. And, I was expecting sympathy out of her. If anything, I was expecting her to be sorry for me, maybe. And what I got was exactly the opposite. She basically yelled at me to excuse my language here. What she said was, Brian, you're pissing your life up the wall. There's people out there fighting for their lives, myself included. And this is where I found out that, Jackie has myotonic dystrophy. It's a form of muscular dystrophy. And she has to stay very fit and very active to keep those symptoms at bay. So she basically saw me as this self-absorbed, obese person that was throwing their life away for no good reason. She was saying, here's you with all these opportunities. What are you doing? There's people out there with illnesses that, have to fight to stay alive, and, they don't take life for granted. And here's you just throwing it all away. So I took that as a personal challenge. And October 13th, 2012, I quit drinking cold turkey. I stopped drinking entirely. I told her that day, I said, hey, I'm going to quit drinking, and I know this is going to hurt because I had to deal with the withdrawal symptoms and all this stuff. So it's funny, when I told her it was going to hurt, she got angry with me again, saying I'm, self-absorbed, and, I can't see past my nose, basically. So, I took that as a personal challenge, and I quit drinking. It was a few days where I had to deal with withdrawal symptoms, where I had cold sweats, I wasn't sleeping, I had the shakes. It was very, very difficult for me to get over that, but after 3 or 4 days, it started to subside and it got easier for me. And then after that, I noticed my pants got a little looser on me. Just a few days later, I just could tell I must have been losing a little bit of weight. I didn't know exactly. I was too big to weigh myself. I didn't have a scale that I could fit onto. And I started to eat healthier. I decided, well, if I quit drinking, why not go ahead and start eating healthier? So I started cutting out things from my diet gradually, one thing at a time. It wasn't one, all at once. I basically I started eating lean proteins. I cut out red meat entirely, and I cut out sugar, almost all sugar, pretty much all processed sugar, and I cut out fruit as well. My typical diet was, at that point, like I said, I was eating 7,500 calories, and I wasn't exercising or anything like that. So I cut my calories. I started counting calories, and I went down to 1,800 calories per day. And this trained me to choose foods that would fill me up and not necessarily have a lot of calories in them. So I ended up eating a lot of chicken breasts, a lot of rice, and I ended up, basically separating my meals out during the day, and I would actually have them all planned out as I went along. And this was something that I kind of made as I went along. It was trial and error. I didn't have any doctors helping me out. I didn't have any dietitian, nothing like that. I just had Jackie helping me out, pointing me in the right direction. And I basically built it from the ground up, and I did what worked for me. Now, like I said, I was very big at this point. I'll show you another photo here. This was, again, me at my heaviest. And that's me just over 600 pounds, and I could barely, walk up a flight of stairs. So I got to the point where I decided to exercise. I wanted to, do something a little bit more. So I decided to wake up 5 minutes early every single morning, and I started walking in place. And I did this every single day, and I started adding to that little by little. And I was basically walking up to an hour after about 2 or 3 months of doing that, but this was gradual. I walked 5 minutes per day, and then I would add a minute to it, maybe 2 minutes, and next thing I knew, I was walking an hour at a time, and I was getting up and doing this every single day. I didn't skip any days. And I bought a scale, and I weighed myself every single morning. I wrote down my weights. I found out that I have a bit of an obsessive personality, and this was something that I kind of switched. I was obsessing about drinking, and I kind of switched that over to my health. So I basically, was meticulous about it. I counted my calories. I weighed myself every day, and I started exercising, and I started walking in place. Eventually, I got to the point where I could walk outside, and I, started walking around. I could barely walk around the block at first, but I got up early. I was afraid to walk outside in front of the neighbors because I was ashamed of myself, being large. And there's a bit of a social stigma around that, and you're kind of afraid of people looking at you and judging you. So I started getting up before the sun rose. I got up at 4 or 5 a.m. and would start walking around the block. I eventually walked my first mile. I got to the point where I kept adding to that, just like I did with the walking in place every morning. And I got to the point where I was walking 5 miles every single morning before work. And I would get up and do it every single day. I wouldn't skip any days. Even days where it rained, I would still go out there and walk. And I had Jackie along for this whole time. She was there cheering me along, and she couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. The weight just started pouring off. After the first 3 months of just cutting out the alcohol and cutting back on my food intake, I was dropping about a pound a day, if not, sometimes 2 pounds a day. and I lost about 100 pounds within the first 3 months. Now, this is 19 months in, about just over a year and a half, and I've lost 391 pounds to date. And I am still, it's a work in progress. I'm not where I want to be just yet. I've gotten to the point where I've become a bit of a runner. I've run 5Ks. I trained myself to run 5Ks. The first 5K I ran, I was over 300 pounds and it took me almost 45 minutes, but I ran the whole thing. You know, I was running at a snail's pace, but it doesn't matter. You know, it felt fantastic. And I ran, to this date, I've run 6 5Ks, and I just finished my fourth 10K, which is 6.2 miles. I just finished my fourth one last weekend, and I plan to do a duathlon at the end of this month, where I'll be running and bicycling as well. So I'll be cycling, I think it's 12 miles, followed by a 5K running, and I'm training for that. And eventually, I'd like to do a half marathon, and I want to do a full marathon, maybe an Ironman someday. You know, I aspire to that. I want to do that eventually. But one thing at a time, you know, I'm just kind of taking this, you know, a step at a time. But going back to Jackie, she is by far my best friend to this day. We have no secrets from each other. We are best of friends. We started talking on Skype. We started to get to know each other better, and started chatting face to face. We got to the point where we wanted to meet each other. And I got to the point where I needed to lose the weight to be able to get on a plane. I wanted to go to London to meet her. And we set a date, which was in December of 2013, this past year. And I needed to be able to fit into a plane seat. So my goal was to get down to 280 pounds. And we set that goal. And by the time December rolled around, I was at 270 pounds. And I flew to London, and I met Jackie. We had a great time, stayed for 2 weeks in London. We went over to Paris for 3 days, climbed the Eiffel Tower. I went from, you know, in less than a year and a half, I went from barely being able to climb a flight of stairs to climbing the Eiffel Tower with Jackie. And I'll show you a photo. This is Jackie and I on top of the Eiffel Tower after we climbed it. So we had an absolute blast. It was fantastic. I absolutely love it over there. I love being in London. People ride their bikes everywhere. 60% of commuters in London are cyclists. It's just an amazing culture. Getting to know, you know, the way they eat, the way they exercise. You know, it's funny because it's here in America, we're obsessed with, you know, going to the gym, going out of our way to exercise. And over there, it's more of a, you know, it's incorporated into their life. You know, Jackie cycles to and from work every single day. It's 7 miles each way. And, you know, that's exercise, you know, and that's not just exercise for the sake of exercise. It's because that's what she does, you know, that's part of her life. And it's fantastic. I love the lifestyle. I'll show you guys a few more photos. Here is Jackie and I in front of Big Ben when we first met. It's absolutely beautiful over there. I love it. And then here's me after running, this was my fourth 5K. I ran it on my birthday. I was in downtown Ann Arbor. This was after I got back in town from, you know, visiting Jackie in London. And I finished the 5K in 32 minutes flat. It's my best time to that date. And this was it. Got to end the 5K right on the 50-yard line of U of M Stadium. Absolutely loved it. It was amazing. And here's one more photo of Jackie and I on my last trip. And I just want to say to all of you out there that, you know, don't give up. It's never too late. I'm 32 years old, and I turned my life around in, you know, a year and a half. And I was at the point where I'd completely given up. I was, like I said, depressed, and you never know what's going to happen. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. Never underestimate the power of friendship. Jackie was the right person at the right time for me. She, you know, was like winning the lottery. You know, I would never, I don't know if I would be alive today if I hadn't have met her. And she is my best friend to this day. So I created this channel, this video here, so I could share my story. And I want to be able to reach out to more people. So I just wanted to, like I said, just tell my story, and I want to, I'll post some videos from time to time, and I'll show you my progress, when I'm running races, or, if I lose more weight, or, maybe I'll show you some things that I eat, some of my things, just some of the dietary things that I do on a day-to-day basis. I'll post some other videos so you guys can see. And I want you guys, if you have any comments, questions, I did create a Facebook group. Jackie and I run a Facebook group. We have almost 6,000 members now from all over the world. People from Mongolia to South America, Australia, all over the world. And it's a fantastic group. People are on there telling their weight loss stories, and getting fantastic advice from everybody. A lot of positive reinforcement, and it's a very safe area for people to, go ahead and tell their stories and not worry about people judging them, because that's the last thing anybody wants. And people just want to go on there for support and, advice. And it's a fantastic group. Feel free to join it. I'll post a link to it on the video here so you can see. And now I'm to the point where I've lost all this weight, and I have probably about 30 to 40 pounds of excess skin. And I'm trying to get this removed, and insurance doesn't cover that skin removal, at least not my insurance. And I was quoted over $20,000 to get the skin removed. So a good friend of mine named Kay, I grew up with her, went to high school with her. She created a fundraising page through GoFundMe to raise money, and was absolutely just blown away by people's generosity. People have put in money to, help pay for this. And it's going strong to this day. And I hope to, one day down the line be able to get the skin removed. And, that's kind of the last hurdle. I've lost all this weight, and now I have this skin that's starting to hold me back. And I hope I can get that taken care of eventually. But any money that doesn't go toward skin removal surgery will go to Myotonic Dystrophy Association. So it'll just go to charity. And like I said, right now I have my health. It's my life is completely turned around. I feel fantastic for the first time in my life. No depression. I feel great. I feel nothing but possibility. I can do whatever I want now. All these things I haven't been able to do for years and years now. I, can go around and ride roller coasters. I want to go skydiving. I want to go mountain climbing. All these things, that I couldn't do before. And now I'm, just all these possibilities are opening up. And, I want to go traveling more. And, when I start crossing these other milestones, I want to be able to share with you guys, and I'll post some more videos, and, I'll keep them on this, on this YouTube channel for you guys to see. So, anyways, I thank you guys for taking the time out to listen, and, check out my story. And, like I said, I'll keep you guys posted. So, take care, guys. Bye.